Hi everyone, welcome to the Ruled by Hounds YouTube channel. Today we're going to be delving into a bit more of a serious topic. We're going to be talking about how much money I have spent on my dog's cancer treatments and any conditions that were caused by the treatments or because of the cancer. And we're also going to be talking about how much pet insurance reimbursed me in this video. So the reason I'm talking about this is because cancer has greatly affected my life and my dog's life. He has been battling cancer for 2 years now, and just in dogs, 1 in 3 dogs will develop some form of cancer in their lifetime, and if the dog is over 10, 50% will develop some form of cancer. So the cancer that my dog has is cutaneous lymphoma. Lymphoma is one of the most common cancers that a dog is diagnosed with. And then there are about 30 different kinds of canine lymphoma. Cutaneous lymphoma accounts for about 5% of those diagnoses. So a little bit of information. My dog was diagnosed with cancer in August of 2022. We continued treatments for about 8 to 9 months until the very end of April. There are many different kinds of cancer treatments out there for dogs, and we decided to go with CCNU. That was what was suggested by our vet. One of the most common types of treatment is the CHOP protocol that uses 3 different types of cancer drugs along with prednisone to treat, but it wasn't an option for my dog and his type of cancer. So we went with CCNU, which is an oral form, luckily, that he received every 3 weeks. So in this video, we're going to be doing a deep dive into how much each treatment cost me, as well as how much the insurance covered. So do keep in mind, my insurance policy is not the best because 3 months before Dudley got diagnosed with cancer, I brilliantly decided to change my policy because I wanted to save a little bit of money on how much I had to spend each month. And that was a mistake, but hindsight is 20/20, of course. And so just to give you an idea, my deductible is $1,000 and my coverage is 80% after I meet the deductible. And just to give an idea, these treatments and all the things we're going to be talking about here in a few minutes is all over 3 policy years. And every new year you have to meet the deductible again. But it's still, pet insurance still made it so that I was able to treat my dog so much longer than I ever could have if I hadn't have had it. And just to also share, my dog never went into remission. A lot of dogs will go into remission with chemotherapy treatments. And also keep in mind, chemotherapy in dogs is different than in humans. So chemotherapy for dogs is meant to ease the condition and make them feel better, essentially. In humans, it's meant to kill the cancer. So it's much less common for side effects to happen in dogs. And the reason I'm sharing all of this is because I tried to look and see if anybody had done this, and I didn't find anything. And I just wanted to give you an idea of how much it cost. This in no way will absolutely determine how much it will cost for you if you decide to go with chemotherapy treatments for your dog that has cancer, or your cat, or your, it won't give you a full picture, but it's at least going to give you an idea of what to look for and what to ask and different things like that. So now I'm going to switch over and we're going to start to look at how much money I spent, and I will give you the full total of the cost, how much was out of pocket, and how much pet insurance covered at the end. The first one we're looking at is actually where they found the nodules and the plaques in the back of his throat. So how it happened was he just went in for a routine dental and to have a couple of extractions. And during that, when he was under anesthesia, they found some red plaques in the back of his throat. They didn't know what they were, so they suggested a biopsy. And here we are. And so the only things I'm going to be showing you on this bill are going to have to do with that biopsy. So here we have a biopsy surgery cost. That cost $50, insurance covered $40, and then we have the biopsy down here that cost $282.64, and $226.11 was covered by insurance. So the next policy or the next bill that you're going to see is where I had to meet the deductible. I don't know why they did that one first. So here I've already met the deductible for this bill, and that's why that much is covered. Now let's look at his first consult. This number's a little scary, the consult. And this is where we've met with his doctor that was only a few days after his diagnosis. So grateful for that. Again, my vets were amazing and are amazing because I still go to see them every 6 months with him. And here you can see this bill. We have the oncology chemotherapy consult, ultrasound, the CBC, and that's just to check, it's the complete blood count, so to check that for him. And then a whole bunch of different things, radiology consult, treatment, his prednisone was down here. That's for his other condition, but also for this as well. And so here you can see this cost $2,250.08. This bill is where I had to meet the deductible, so insurance paid $894.36. So just to give you an idea really quickly, if you haven't done pet insurance, for me, what I did is I had to pay it out of pocket when I first got the bill at the vet's office for mine. And then after that, I submitted it to my insurance. So I just took a picture of the bill and then they got back to me. I will say that sometimes it took a while to get the money back, but I never had to fight anything. I never, ever had to fight them on if something was covered or insured or to get my money back. It just, the only downside was every once in a while, it took a couple weeks to get the reimbursement. So that's something to keep in mind, is you do have to pay out of pocket first before you get reimbursed, at least for the one I had. And then we're gonna kind of go through these next ones a little bit faster, just because it's a lot of the same things, but I wanna show you them all so that I can give you the total at the end. Here is the next one, and this was for blood tests and CCNU treatment between 8/30/2022 and 9/13/2022. So in the beginning, he had to come in every single week to get the complete blood count to check, because this helps track your dog's response to the disease and the treatment. So he had to come in for that every week until they got the dosage down for him. And the cost of this was $832.87. Insurance paid $666.29. And then let me just show you the total at the bottom. There's the totals that I told you. Here is just a very small bill because he went in and actually had a bit of, I believe this is when he had a skin infection on his front. And this is because his immune system was down. He'd never had trouble with any skin or ear infections. He has an ear infection later, that's why I mentioned that. And his immune system's down, and so that's why I'm including that in these costs, because he likely wouldn't have had this if he hadn't have been going through this. So for here, for the blood panel and for the antibiotics, it was $67.98. Insurance covered $54.38. This next one is for another treatment, just a basic treatment for him. And then I believe, no, it doesn't on here. And this one cost $672.93. Insurance covered $538.35. This is in October of 2022. So we're moving along. So again, he started his first treatment on August 23rd of 2022. So now we're in October. Now we're into November. This one cost $517.05. Insurance paid $413.65. Again, I'm just gonna kind of go through these a little quickly until the end. This one was at the end of November of 2022, and it cost $522.42, and insurance paid $417.95. Then we have another treatment right before Christmas of 2022. It cost $674.92, and the insurance paid $539.95. This next one is at the end of January. So we are into, let me switch my notes over. We're into, I think I might have skipped one. I think I skipped one. So I'm going to read that one to you because I skipped that one. In January 10th of 2023, he had treatment that cost $642.11, and the insurance covered $513.68. So you can see that even costs just between treatments varied. And it just depended on if he needed another pill. It varied from treatment to treatment even. So it's not a very set cost for mine. Then this one was in January of 2023 at the very end. Here you can see, here's where he had an ear cleaning. He had to get stuff for his ears, and that's just because, again, his immune system was down. He'd never had ear infections before this. But again, hounds, he's a Basset Hound. They're very prone to ear infections, so sure, he probably could have got this before. But this costs $967.86, and the insurance paid me back $774.29. And again, this is just stuff you have to talk with your vet about. There maybe there's payment plans, different things that you can work out with your vet. Let's move on from this one. Then we are into February of 2023. Here, let's see. Oh, I had to meet the deductible again, so it was a new policy year. So it cost $806.98, and none of that was paid back by insurance because I had to meet my very large deductible. Then we have a treatment in March of 2023. So this is his third to last treatment because at this time I started to see a little bit of a small amount of side effects, and it started to also become financially very difficult. This, of course, chemotherapy treatments came during one of the most financially difficult times in my life. My partner and I had to move so he could finish schooling, and so we only had a single income household. It was a very, very difficult financial situation, but we made the choice for treatments and the choice to accrue some debt because we just couldn't make any other choice for him. But don't let that discourage you. If you can't afford the treatments, whatever you do for your pet is right for your pet. As long as you're doing your best for your pet, that's what matters. It was very difficult financially, and maybe we shouldn't have done it. But just again, whatever you choose, as long as you're trying your best, that's what matters. Even if you choose not to go with chemotherapy and you just choose either a holistic route or just a kind of hospice route. So in this one, it cost $647.11, and then insurance finally started to kick in, and I got $163.26 back. Then we're reaching our second to last treatment. This one cost $658.15, and insurance paid back $526.51. And then here's his final treatment. This cost $684.18, and insurance paid $547.35. Now we're going into, this was his checkup. So the last one was his final treatment. We decided it was just time to stop and just go with a let him live his life choice. And that's what we've been doing since April of 2023. And we're now in July of 2024. We're incredibly lucky and incredibly grateful because when Dudley first got diagnosed, he got 5 to 10 months. And here he is. We are going to celebrate, hopefully, as long as he keeps fighting and is able to, celebrate his 2-year anniversary of being diagnosed in August. And yes, I'm gonna be weird and celebrate it because it is something to celebrate because he's been fighting for so long and he's been doing it so well. And he's still such a happy-go-lucky guy. So as long as he's happy and comfortable, that's what we're focusing on now. And so this was just a recheck where they refilled his prednisone for us, checked his blood, just gave him a good once-over, and it cost $373.57. Insurance paid $298.85. Then we have just 2 last bills so far. This one, he actually had to go in for an emergency visit. He had a mass or a cyst or something. They're not completely sure because we decided not to do a biopsy on it because we talked with our vet, and even if we found out that lump was cancerous, it wouldn't change what our treatment is right now. So we just decided to treat him and make him more comfortable, because he would have had to stay for the biopsy until the results came in at the emergency clinic when he was already feeling like poop. So we decided to go against it. And it was just a mass that got infected. So far, he's been doing well since then. So we just have to keep playing it by ear and just keep checking him. But this cost $317.87. We are in a new policy year, so nothing was covered by insurance. And then after that, we did a checkup with his cancer vet, and it was just another 6 months checkup to see how he's doing, also to recheck his infection and his mass. And that cost $456.30. And again, none of this was covered by insurance. Now after that probably long-winded showing, I hope it was helpful at least to see the bills and the breakdown and how much insurance paid. Now I'm just gonna tell you how much it cost. And so it cost total for everything that I have shown you in this video, $11,375.02. Insurance covered $6,574.98. A reminder, this was over 3 policy years, so I had to meet a deductible 3 different times. And then also, just to share, my out-of-pocket after everything was $4,800.04, which is much better than over $11,000. So it covered, my pet insurance after, when you did a full breakdown, covered about 58% of the costs shown in this video. So it made a huge difference. It would have made a bigger difference if I had not changed my deductible and how much my policy covered before this, because it originally was a $250 deductible and 90% coverage. So this number would have been much different that I shared with you. So everybody, thank you for joining me on this. If you heard that yawn, that's actually Dudley. He's waking up from his nap and probably knows I'm talking about him. If you'd like to share some of your pet's cancer journey in the comments, I'd be happy to chat with you. Let this be a safe place that we can all talk and support each other. That's really what I would love to have, because it's very hard to deal with cancer in your pet. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope this was helpful to some of you. And now we'll get back to the happy-go-lucky videos that are always on this channel.